Okay, welcome to episode 7 of the Distro Spinner. If you're new here or new to the channel, sorry, and you've never watched this series before, I'll quickly go over how I do it. So what you guys do will recommend me a distribution, no matter how memey it might be. As you can see, I've got Rebecca Black OS there, and you can recommend them in sort of the comments to these videos or on Discord or Twitter. Both are linked in the description below. And then when I spin a wheel, whatever distribution it lands on, no ifs, buts or maybes, I will use for a whole week. And then after that week, I'll review how I found that week. And yeah, so basically that's the gist of it. And I've had some really good ones. So last episode we had Arco Linux, which I very much enjoyed. But I've had some real stinkers as well that I've not been a fan of whatsoever. So that's what's the interesting part of this sort of series, if you like. I often will check out a distribution that would never have made it on the channel otherwise, so that's why I do this, and I think it's quite fun. So let's have a look at what we get for this week, cross our fingers and hope for the best. I want something good, come on. Endeavour OS, okay. I think, though I might be wrong, they've just had an updated release as well. I think I saw it pop up in Discord channel somewhere. So what I'm going to do now is stop recording, download the ISO, burn it to a USB, and then we're going to install it, have a little sort of run through, and then we wrap it up there, and then everything I'll sort of touch on after the week. So see you in a minute. Okay, so we have now just booted into the USB, and it gives us a few options here. So the default is just Endeavour OS x86 64 UEFI CD, but it also has an entry there which includes the non-free NVIDIA drivers. I don't use NVIDIA, so we don't need to do that, but it also has UEFI shell versions 1 and 2, EFI default loader, and then you can also reboot into a firmware interface. So we're going to go straight for this one here and click enter. Okay, so I've done a bit of reading while I was downloading this. This based on Arch, and they did have an update, I think literally a couple of days ago. They've made a few changes to the installation process, so they've sort of themed Calamares a bit differently, and I think they keep the terminal window open while you install, so you can sort of keep an eye on what's going on like that. And it should be a live XFCE desktop environment that it boots into, and then you can load up Calamares from there. It is. We will need to set a screen mirror so we can both see the same thing. So let me just go into my display settings, just a moment. Right, let me just quickly click mirror, click apply, and then we should be on the same page in just a minute. There we go. Alright, the installer's escaping us though. Right, I also read that the offline installation mode will install it with the theming. I'll tell you what, we can read it here, look. So this is a community development release. Offline method gives you an XFCE desktop with the Endeavour OS theming. Internet connection is not needed. The online method lets you choose your desktop with vanilla theming, so it will be like a vanilla theme of XFCE and whatever desktop environments it lets you choose. What we're going to do is jump into the online method, but we're going to use the offline method because I want to use their XFCE theming, but I just want to show you what desktop environments it includes as well. So we're not going to worry about what it sets here, we're just going to rush straight through it and just get to the desktop selection part, and then we're going to exit it and start the installer over again. So next, 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 let's just do that, yeah, next. Here we go. So it gives you a few different options here, so you can have the base devel with the common packages and then select which desktop you want, and the entries are XFCE4, Mate, KDE, GNOME, Cinnamon, Budgie, Deepin, i3. I wonder what's the included in i3. Interesting. i3, LXQT, and it also gives you some options to choose printing, accessibility tools, and the NVIDIA drivers. What we're going to do is cancel that, and then we're going to start it over again because I want to use the Endeavour OS theming for XFCE. So let's start the installer and go for offline. Okay. So as I said in the sort of build up to it, it keeps this terminal window open so you sort of know that there might still be processes going, and then you can keep an eye on what's going on there as well. So we're going to go for British English and click next. Yep, that's all correct. English UK, and let's just test our keyboard out. Brilliant, that's all well and good. And then we're going to go for this disk here. Let me just make sure that is the correct one. Yep, it's free space. Erase disk, swap with Hibernate, so it's going to make quite a large swap because I've got 32 gig RAM, but I have other disks that I can mount for data and stuff if I need be, so it's not too much of a worry that our root's only 84 gig, because as I say, I've got more storage that I can just feed into this. So for a week that'll be totally fine. So we've got swap with Hibernate. It gives us an EFI for our bootloader of 300 megabytes, a swap of 34.5 gig, and then we have a root of 84.4 gig. Let me just move my keyboard out of the way. There we go. So let's click next. Let's fill in our user account details. So it automatically clicks, yes, I know it's a dictionary word, I just have a very default password for these videos. Login automatically, let's go for that, and then it uses the same password for your root by default, but if you was to uncheck that, it would then let you write a different password for your root, but we're going to keep the same password for this week. So let's click next. Let's review those options, Europe, London, UK keyboard, and that is all correct. So let's install it now. Okay, what I'm going to do is let this install to disk, and then we're going to reboot once it's all installed on disk, and then we'll just have a very quick run through. I will save most of sort of what I think of this distribution for the final video in a week's time though. So let's let that do its business, and then when we come back we'll be booting off disk. Okay, that's all done. That was a very quick installation process actually. I'm going to imagine half of that is because we chose the offline method, which means it didn't download anything additional, so we will have to do probably a bit more of a hefty update when we first start. But let's go to restart now and click next. Clicking next is not clicking next. Hold on, let's see what this terminal's saying. Okay, it's starting the reboot command there. It's just taking a little while. Has it crashed on the reboot? What's going on? Next. What about done? Ah, there we go. Okay. So it will boot up into Grub, but I'll have to choose between Arco, Endeavour and Ubuntu that I've got installed on my main drive. Hopefully it boots straight into it and I don't have to mess around in BIOS. There we go. So we've got a couple of entries there, fallback in it for RAMs, and then I've got my Ubuntu installation there. So let's go into it. And we've got auto login, so we won't have to do a login. We will have to very quickly set up a display mirror again though. So let's go into our display settings once more. Get that mirror going. There we go, you can see what's going on here. So mirrors checked, click apply, and then we should be on the same page now. There you go, look at that timing. Oh, we've lost that though. Let's close the display bit. Okay, do I want to change the wallpaper to, no, I'm going to leave the wallpaper as it is. I quite like it. In fact, I like the default look quite a bit. We'll go through that in a moment. So let's have a look at the welcome screen here. So after install tasks, update mirrors. United Kingdom, yeah, that's fine. Update system, so we need to do the update. So let's go for it. So we have to type in our password. Keyboard's in a rather awkward position at the moment. I've probably done that wrong. It'll let me know. There we go. Authentication fail. So let's do that again. So let's go to update system. Alright, there we go. So how much packages have we got? Ah, not too much actually. So it's only, I guess because it's quite a new ISO, it got updated literally a couple of days ago, or even yesterday. It's not got too much to grab there. So that's that bit done. Detect system issues. Let's see if it will find any issues. No important system issues were detected. Endeavour OS to latest, we'll leave that as that. Endeavour OS wallpaper. So you can also switch to the vanilla XFCE theme, but we won't do that because I quite like the way it looks. Package management, so that will open the package manager. No, it'll open up Firefox, and then it will give you a little sort of introduction to package management in Endeavour OS. So let's leave that minimized. So let's get the AUR going. Again, that will just open up a web browser, so we'll leave that for the moment as well. Hardware network, Bluetooth, NVIDIA users, and forum tips. Help, don't show me anymore, and see you later. So we're going to go don't show me anymore. To run welcome again, start a terminal and run EOS welcome enable. Okay. Right, let's see how it sets everything up and what we have installed. So we have our bar at the bottom, and we've got our power off switch and log out there, clock there, notifications, battery. I don't know why we've got a battery there, because we're on a desktop, so I'm just going to remove that. Are you sure you want to remove the Power Manager plugin? Yes, I do. Volume, and then we have our internet connection there, and then we have a workspace with 4 in a grid. Let me just see if that's how it's set up. I like just to have one row of workspaces. So then you have your Windows task buttons here, and then some quick launch items there, a little separator there, and then you've got your application launcher there, which we'll go through in a minute. I just want to open up the panel preferences, and we can see how they've done this now. So it's about a 34 size. Let's bring that down to about 28, 26 I do. Yeah, leave that like that. Lock panel, yeah, that's fine. So they've got a solid color, and then they've just bumped the transparency with a custom color code. So what we're going to do is, do I want it at the top? Yes, I do. So we're going to chuck it at the top, like so, and then we're just going to lock it again and leave it like that for now. Okay, so let's see what it comes installed with. So let's start with accessories. We have Archive Manager, bulk rename, which is part of Funa, I'm going to imagine, calculator, leaf pad for your text editor, and mouse pad as well. So we have 2 text editors there. Orage, Global Time, Screenshot Tool, Task Manager, and Funa. Theme looks a bit funny there, so is that just the normal Arc theme? We might change that in a moment. So that was accessories. In development you have Icon Browser, and in graphics you use Ristretto Image Viewer. And then in internet you have your SSH browser and VNC browsers. Firefox is your default web browser. GFTP and transmission for torrents. Parole is your media player. Audio is done with Pulse Audio. Then you have your V4L2 tests and video capture utilities, and nothing in Office really, so there's no Office Suite installed. And I think that's kind of the most of it really. Quite a light installation, I like that actually. So we've got 4 workspaces. So let's go into our keyboard shortcuts in Windows Manager for a moment, and let's see what the shortcuts for moving workspaces are. So where are we? Move to workspaces, here we go. No, that's show up or show down. Right, left workspace. So we do have workspaces up the top and at the bottom, do we? So there's left and right and up and down. And as you can see, if you watch this little square at the top here, you can see it's a grid with up and down. I personally don't like to have a grid like that, so I wonder if... So let's just see what happens if we just use the long buttons. There we go, so we can go like that. I'll tell you what, we'll keep it the way it is for the moment, because I'm not too fussed about how it's actually done that there. It's quite a nice way of getting it. It looks quite small, doesn't take up too much space, so we won't worry for the time we have to use it. So I'm going to change the shortcuts though to just a simple control. So control left for that one, control right for that one, and then we'll do the same for up and down as well. So let's go to control down, and then we'll go to control up. There we go. So that's the workspaces done. What about move windows to a workspace? What have they got for that? So move window to the left workspace. So let's just quickly set these with Control and Alt. Control Alt left, and then Control Alt right. And I guess we'll do it for the upper and lower as well. So Control Alt down, Control Alt. Oh, we've done that the wrong way, haven't we? So let's use move window to the bottom, and then we'll have to set that to up. Okay, so that is kind of how I want the workspaces set up. What we're going to do now is go into the appearance, see what they've got for the sort of theming, download a couple of additional packages that we're going to use for the rest of the week, and then I shall get back to everything in about a week's time. So we have a system monitor here as well. So at the moment we are using 1.4 gig RAM. I'm also going to install HTOP though. I prefer to use HTOP for that kind of thing. See, I'm too much of a Ubuntu guy. Pacman S HTOP. There we go. While we're here as well, I'm going to grab a couple more things. So I'm going to get Plank. It's got Arc theme. Let's grab Mocha icon theme. I think that's in the Arc repos. GIMP. And I think that will do for the moment. Anything else I need, I'll get throughout the week. So that'll be okay for the moment. So let's let that grab them packages. Right, let me open up HTOP. Oh, of course we haven't installed it yet, have we? Okay, let's let that do that business. And then what I want to do is just go into the appearance settings now. So it comes installed with all of the Arc. So we're going to go to Arc Dark because that's the way I like to keep things. And let's also go into Windows Manager and then just set that theme to Arc Dark as well. And then let's go into icons now and see what icons we're using. So we're using the Arc XD icons, which is all well and good actually. And it also comes with Paper, Faber, Adwater, Arc XP. Okay, cool. We'll leave it on Arc XD. And then we're going to close that. We're going to close that. And let's see what other wallpapers it comes with out of the box. So just the Endeavour one and the XFCE desktop wallpapers. It's a very slim installation actually. I quite like it. So if we open up HTOP now, we're going to have to change the colour of things because we can't really see anything, can we? So if we go to colours, let's change the background colour. Where's background colour? Let's change it to black. Select. There we go. So let's run HTOP again. We still can't see anything. What is that a bluey? Let's see if this is the right colour there, and we'll change it to a green. And then hopefully we can see HTOP a bit better. No, wrong one. So it must be this one here. Yes, it is. Let's make it a slightly more bright green though. And then if we run HTOP again. No, wrong one again. This one here. So let's bring that over there. There you go. So now I can see what's going on in HTOP now. Right, what I'm going to do is reboot and see how much RAM we are using at boot. And then that's going to be it for this video. And then we'll come back in a week with a full review of Endeavour OS. And we can also see how quickly it starts up now after a fresh reboot. So let's reboot. I do quite like this already actually though. Just from first impressions, they have set this up quite a nice sort of minimal XFCE implementation here. We will have to quickly hit enter though when it gets to grub, and then we can see how quickly it starts. Okay, we've got auto login, so it should go straight to the desktop. No, bit premature there. Okay, there we go. Not too bad. Right, let's quickly open up HTOP, see how much RAM we're using. So yeah, it's not too bad at all actually. So just over 500 megabytes RAM there. CPUs are doing exactly what they should be doing. Obviously, that's going to get bumped up quite a bit once I'm done with it though, because we haven't got certain things that I will be using. So I don't even think there's an email client, and I do like to have a desktop email client and a few other things. We might even get LibreOffice on here as well as a few more things. Okay, as I said, I'm going to wrap the video up there, but if you want to sort of see a full review of this, come back in a week. So on Sunday we'll wrap this up with a full review. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.